Hey guys, it's Kish from Porygon Tube, and I'm here with a Drampa Lycanroc deck profile. So this is a deck that I took to and managed to win a local league cup with. So it's a really fun deck, really powerful, and I thought I'd just give everyone a bit of a showcase, show what it's all about, the reasons behind some of my card choices. So for those who don't know, this deck is basically focused around Drampa-GX. So Drampa-GX Berserk is a super powerful attack. So 80 damage base, and if you have a damage bench Pokemon, then it does an extra 70 damage. So that's 150 damage. That's a very nice number to hit. That's KOing Baby Vikavolt with the strong charge ability. That's KOing Baby Eviltals and a slew of other attackers for 150 damage is very nice. So if you add a choice band to that, that becomes 180, and if you play Professor Kukui on top of that, that's 200. So those are all good numbers to hit 180 KOs most basic GXs and EXs, and 200 a big number to hit because of Espeon and things like that. So Berserk, very powerful attack. It does require just 2 energy attachments, so a double colorless and any energy will get you off, so you potentially get it off turn 2 or even turn 1 because we're playing Max Elixir, but that's pretty unlikely. So this deck is all about speed, it's all about rushing your opponent. So Lycanroc GX has an ability, Bloodthirsty Eyes. When you play it to evolve, then you get to gust up one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it's a free Lysander in an ability, and it allows you to play your other supporters for the turn without having to worry about Lysander. So basically, we just want to rush our opponents, Lysander, Berserk, Bloodthirsty Eyes, Berserk, things like that, okay? So we're running 2 Shaman EX because Shaman EX is really good in this deck. As I said, it's all about speed. So you just want to draw the cards you need to set up. You're not worried about wonder tagging for Bridget like other setup decks. So that's the reason that there's a 2 count of Shaman and only a 1 count of Tapu Lele. Actually, at the League Cup, I didn't even use wonder tag once. So throughout any of my games. So actually, Tapu Lele, it's a little bit risky, but you could potentially play it without it. But 1's just security in case you have an absolutely dead hand. So that's the Pokemon line. One last thing is that Rockruff shouldn't be ignored. Corner is a great attack. So just for 1 fighting, you can stop your opponent from retreating. This can buy you a crucial turn if you need to, because a lot of decks have cut physical switching cards like Switch, Escape Rope, and Olympia. So Corner is a really good attack for buying time, and it's even a potential deck out strategy. If your opponent's just out of resources, you can bring something up. Corner, even with a Float Stone, they can't retreat or anything like that. So really good attack on Rockruff, and it shouldn't be underestimated. So the reason for the 3-2 line is that initially I had 3-3 Lycanroc, but I found the third Lycanroc was pretty useless. 2 is good. If you get off 2 Lycanrocs, that's going to be 2 Lysanders, and you have physical copies of Lysander to find the third one. So the whole idea is to Berserk for 180 and take GX, EX knockouts every turn, so the game can be over in 3 to 4 turns potentially. So we play 1 Field Blower. You're not too worried about tools. Garbotoxin is pretty slow to get out, and it's just, yeah, you don't really worry too much about it. 1 Field Blower is pretty versatile, I would say. It's not essential. You're not really field blowing anything specific, just getting rid of your opponent's tools, or sometimes even your own tools. If you're forced to attach a float stone when you want a choice band, you can field blow away the float stone, get a choice band. So yeah, field blower, not that great. Max Elixirs, so we played 2 of them. So basically this just gives you a speed boost at some point in the game in case you miss an energy drop along the way, or you just need to power up a Berserk in 1 turn, or even Max Elixiring to a Rockruff and then evolving to Lycanroc can get you into good position. So one thing I forgot to mention is Dangerous Rogue GX from Lycanroc is a really good GX attack. Big Wheel GX from Drampa is okay in setup decks, but it's really not good in this kind of speedy deck. But Dangerous Rogue hits very hard. Most decks on their first turn will Wonder Tag, play a Bridget, fill up their bench to 4. That's 200 damage for Dangerous Rogue because it does 50 times your opponent's bench Pokemon. If they bench a 5th, that's 250. With a Choice Band, your numbers go up by 30. So it's really good. It hits good numbers with Choice Band. 3 bench is 150 plus a Choice Band is 180. So it's a really strong GX attack, and it gives you an aggressive GX attack to use. So yeah, so one rescue stretcher, very good for getting back a Lycanroc from the discard pile or a Shaman and being able to use their abilities. Town Map is actually a very good card, and it helped me a lot throughout the day. Just being able to plan which prizes you're taking is huge, and you can even play out your turns knowing that you're going to take certain prizes, so that's massive. Additionally, N is a very powerful card against decks that take prizes quickly, like this deck. So Town Map allows you to anticipate the N and shuffle back in things like Via Seeker and Sycamore when you take the prizes. Anticipating an N, those will get shuffled back into your deck, so it's more outs to draw into good cards. 4 Ultra Ball, pretty standard, helps you get your stuff, particularly Rock Ruffs. And Lycanrocs, Via Seeker 3 count is perfectly fine. You have ample supporters. You don't really need more than 3. Games usually don't last too long if everything goes well. So 3 VS Seeker I found to be good. 4 means that you probably start with it in your opening hand, and I don't really like that. So 3 I found was the perfect number. Team Magma Base. Now this is a card that not everyone has, and you definitely don't need 4 in this deck. I ran 4 because I have 4, and also because it's just consistency, just to make sure you get it out. So that's how you damage Pokemon onto your bench, because of course Team Magma Base, when you put a basic Pokemon from your hand onto the bench, you put 2 damage counters on it, so that immediately activates Berserk from Drampa. So you could definitely run it easily with 3. 2 probably would still be effective, but not as effective. So I think 3 is probably a sweet spot. 4 is just extra consistency. 2 Hex Maniac. Hex is extremely powerful in the format right now. Stops things like Vikavolt Strong Charge, stops things like Metagross's Geotech systems, and it gives you an out against Metagross. Because Metagross is probably one of the tougher matchups, but if you can Hex them at the right time, then you put them in a really poor position. So Hex is massive. Additionally, you can stop Eevee's Energy Evolution, stop things getting into Espeon, because honestly, Espeon Garbodor is probably one of the harder matchups. I haven't actually played it, but just theory modding, I think Espeon Garbodor will be pretty hard. So we got 2 Lysander, so you might think, why are you playing Lysander when you've got Bloodthirsty Eyes? Well, Lysander is still an essential card. You can't always get out your Lycanrocs, and once you evolve into Lycanroc, then you have no more access to Lysander, because we don't play Devolution Spray or anything like that. So 2 Lysanders is great. You have access to them with VS Seeker, and I found 2 was perfect. So 3N, high count of N, just to make sure you have a draw supporter in your opening hand. 4 Sycamore, very standard, especially in aggressive decks. You just want a Sycamore draw into your stuff. 1 Professor Kukui. So this is an interesting card. The main reason I added it was for things like Espeon and also Metagross. So those are 2 tougher matchups. So with Drampa's Berserk hitting 180 with a choice band, Kukui puts it up to 200. So that's a 1-hit KO. Metagross is a tough matchup if they set up 2 Metagross. But if they have 4 bench, then that means you can Dangerous Rogue for 200. With a choice band, that's 230. With Kukui, that's 250. It may seem unlikely, but I've actually pulled it off a couple times. So it is definitely an out, and to be honest, you have so much space in this deck. There are probably like 4 or 5 cards which you can easily interchange without affecting the deck too much. So Kukui is just nice. I found it really useful on the day. Additionally, if you don't manage to find a choice band, you can Kukui to hit 170 on things like Tapu Lele and whatnot. So Kukui is just good for extra damage. 4 choice bands, very powerful item card. Adds 30 damage when you're attacking GX or EX Pokemon. Just basically for Berserk and Dangerous Rogue, or even Claw Slash. Claw Slash is very useful as well. So we're running a high energy count as well. 4 double colorless, 9 fighting energy. So the reason I put in 9 is because we're having 2 Max Elixirs, and I did hit it more often than not. I basically hit 1 out of 2 Max Elixirs every game, so 9 was a good number. You could definitely cut it down to 8 and cut the Max Elixirs if you want, but I just like the aggression of Max Elixir. So that's why I played it. And that's basically the list, guys. It's a very aggressive deck, very powerful. So if you think about the matchups in the format at the moment, Drampa Garbodor, you hit for weakness on Lycanroc, so you can just go Lycanroc strong. You don't need to play out items, so Garbodor never gets too powerful. And because you 1-hit KO their Drampas, if they're attacking with Garbodor for minimal damage, yes, you're not one-hit KOing them with Claw Slash, although you can with Professor Kukui, but they're just really not doing enough damage to threaten you. So that's Drampa Garbodor. Darkrai is so favorable. You can one-hit KO Drampa GX. You can one-hit KO with Drampa GX or Lycanroc GX. They usually have big benches, so Dangerous Rogue does a lot of damage, and you can hit 150 on Baby Yveltal, so they never really get going, per se. So, and the additional thing is you can Bloodthirsty Eyes, bring up things with EXP share, knock them out, so they don't really get value out of their EXP share, and you have one Field Blow as well. So Darkrai is very favorable. So the tougher matchups, pretty much you can beat anything with this deck, just because you can rush them. Tougher matchups, though, are definitely Espeon Garbodor. That was the deck I least wanted to face. Unfortunately, I managed to dodge it. So, Espeon Garbodor and Metagross is tough if they get set up because you can't really hit 250. Better players will play around Dangerous Rogue GX, so you're never going to be able to knock them out. So yeah, Metagross is tough, but you can just outspeed them. So the way it works, you're usually going to knock out a Alolan Vulpix and probably a Beldum. So you have 4 prizes remaining. They always Wonder Tag for Bridget on the first turn. So that's 2 more prizes on Tapu Lele's. And if they have to play down another Tapu Lele or Shaman at some point, then that's going to be your 6 prizes. If they don't, then you just have to hope to Dangerous Rogue one of their Metagrosses. So it's a very powerful deck. I found it really strong. I like the extra Shamans to draw. It allowed me to get things like Lycanroc and then play powerful supporters like Hex. So Lycanroc, yeah, you can Bloodthirsty Eyes, gust something out, and then play Hex. That's such a strong move that most decks can barely recover from that. So I really like the deck. Let's see if we can get a game and show it off a bit. And I'd definitely encourage everyone to try it out. It's very strong. So I thought it was an original concept of mine. I was sitting down on Friday night trying to think about what I can play. I didn't like a lot of matchups with certain decks in the format. There seemed to be a lot of weird matchups with things like Vikabulu and things being vulnerable to Hex and Garbodor. So I thought, man, I don't want to run into those kinds of decks, and I want to play something fairly straightforward. So I came up with this, and then someone later told me that Philip Schultz played this in Birmingham, I think. So props to him for thinking about it as well. So I think there's a lot to the archetype. It's very powerful. So we don't start with too much. Okay, it looks like we're playing some kind of a dark deck. And he's got a Darkrai deck box, so I'm thinking this is Darkrai. Who knows? And I can't actually remember if we're going first or second. I wasn't really paying that much attention. So 4 Drampa means we start with it more often than not. So here we go. Let's see what we're playing. Okay, my opponent starts Hooper, which is a really unusual card to see now. And that's just going to be 2 free prizes for us at some point, which is very nice. And just forced to pass. So technically I could get a one-hit KO here if I just if I went for a Max Elixir kind of play, but I don't think that's too strong. So I think I can just hold this hand and Hex, because I want to get a Rockruff down, but I don't want to... Oh, I think I can discard the Choice Band. Yeah, I can discard the Choice Band. Because with Righteous Edge, I'll be doing 20. So okay, let's get a Rockruff down. And we can Hex, because my opponent didn't do anything. And just Righteous Edge for 20. So that sets up a Berserk for next turn if we can get a Magma Base and another basic Pokemon with a DCE. What's my opponent going to do here? So Hex just stopping his outs of Tapu Lele, Shaman, things like that. So he Lysanders up the Rockruff. I don't particularly care about that. Run a high count of Floatstone. He attaches a second Dark, so he's obviously playing like Darkrai. Do I want to end here? No. I think I can just attach this and corner. So if he does top deck anything, he can't retreat this. So I'm sort of playing a little bit defensively here, but I think it's fine. If he ever benches a Darkrai, I can just gust it up with Bloodthirsty Eyes. My opponent's in top deck mode here, so he attaches a third energy here. Don't know what's going on. Shamans for 1. Or 2 rather. Let's see if he can get going. Looks like he's debating. Maybe he's got an awkward Sycamore or something like that. Or he's going to Ultra Ball. Okay. So that Hooper having 3 energies, ooh, that's a bit painful. Probably going to go for a Baby Yveltal, I would think, if he discarded 2 Darks. Or maybe a Tapu Lele just to get a supporter. He grabs a Giratina. Okay, so we're playing Dark Tina. I don't think I've ever played this matchup before. Dark Tina hasn't really seen a whole lot of play. Okay. I'm just going to attach a basic energy and corner again. My opponent's not doing anything, so I'm fine to just set up here. We have a favorable matchup, so no reason to try and get him going if he's already drawing pretty dead. So because they're playing Altar of the Moon, okay, so my opponent scoops because he probably realizes he just can't move that Hooper ever because of corner. So that wasn't a very good game. Let's try and get another one. So that's what I was saying about Rockruff's corner and people cutting physical switching cards. Altar of the Moon is another good example. Generally, if people play Altar of the Moon, they don't play any switching cards at all. Or if they do, it's like an Olympia or something like that. So not too likely they're going to ever get it. Okay, so grass colorless. So Decidueye, Lurantis. Let's see. Okay, so we won the coin flip. We go first. And we mulligan. It was funny when I was playing in the League Cup, I start Drampa and attach a fighting energy. People just look at me like really confused because you normally expect to see just psychic energy come down. Okay, so I get a pretty reasonable hand here. So I could Wonder Tag if I wanted, or I could Shaman. Probably Wonder Tag would be safer. Okay. Okay, so it is Lurantis. Ooh, we get a really nice top deck of Sycamore. So we can, let's think about this. So Lurantis is one-hit KOing Lycanrocs, so that's not great. I think I'll just get the Rockruff anyway, in case I want to use the Lysander ability at some point. Okay. So I'll drop the Magma Base. Attach an energy here. Bench that. And we can just pass because we're holding double colorless. We're under no immediate threat. Okay, so my opponent, Trainer's Mails. Trainer's Mail is not a card that you see a whole lot nowadays because it tends to fuel Garbodor. Okay, so he's playing Lurantis Plume. I think this is a fine matchup for us. If he gets out Vileplume here, then good on him, but I have a DC, so I'm hitting 150 every turn. I think that's a lot of pressure for him to deal with. And I have the ability to Lysander then knock out the Vileplume, so yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay, so discards. Okay, so probably be sitting here for a while, waiting for my opponent to solitaire his turn. Hasn't played a supporter yet. There's an energy. Sycamores. Discard Shiinotic, and a Gloom, so it didn't have a forest, but there's a forest. Evolves to Lurantis. Evolves to Gloom. And passes. Great. Oh, we top deck Lycanroc. Decisions. Okay, so I can hit the Lurantis for 150, and I think that's pretty strong. Or I can KO the Morlul. What should I do? What's his next turn? I think I'll hit the Lurantis for 150. But then if he retreats, that's going to be awkward for me. Oh no, it's got... Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay. Let's evolve. We'll use Bloodthirsty Eyes. Bring up the Lurantis. Knocking out the Gloom might not be too great because you can just Revitalizer it all back. Okay, so this is good. We get a Choice Band. Magma Base. We can set up for 2 here. Just trying to draw cards, draw out my items so I can play them before the item lock comes in. Okay, so we get another Choice Band. Kukui's nice. So let's just Berserk here. Now unfortunately Lycanroc is weak to grass, so it's quite risky powering him up. I would have really liked another Drampa there. So this is the kind of pressure I'm talking about. 180, turn 2 is so strong. And my opponent ends me, which is great. Okay, so I draw into a lot of items. Ultra Ball, so he's going to set up the Vileplume. Damn, I wish I'd played the town map first. Then I would have been fine. Oh, he gets a Lurantis. That's risky. So let's see what he can do. Okay, so he can't evolve because he doesn't have a forest. So he could potentially Chloroscythe me next turn, so I want to get another Pokemon down. Instead, I top deck Energy. Okay. So I have a Drampa in the prizes. This is awkward. I don't want a Sycamore 2 double colorless. I might have to power up a Dangerous Rogue here. So 20, 190. Ugh, really awkward numbers. Our max looks like just to burn it. I hit it. I'm not going to use it. So I might be forced into Sky Returning here and just getting a Drampa down. So we'll Float Stone. This guy. We'll VS get the Sycamore. And just hold it because I don't want to dump 2 double colorless. And it's Berserk for the KO. And I'll take a Drampa. And an N or a Tapu Lele. I have 2 double colorless in hand and a Sycamore. And it's probably not going to be too strong for us, so we'll get a Tapu Lele. Alright, so he can return Chaos with Chloroscythe. If he benches another Pokemon, then I can use Dangerous Rogue for the knockout. Otherwise, I can Sky Return into Drampa. Yep, so there's the Chloroscythe. Takes the knockout. Or I can even hit with Tapu Lele here. It's probably not going to be bad. Yeah, Tapu Lele is good. Because then if he somehow Lysanders up Lycanroc and knocks it out, then I can just... yes, we'll grab a supporter. I think I'll grab Lysander here. Or Hex. Hex, we haven't got any items. Kukui, does that help us? Dangerous Rogue, 150, 170. No. 20 short. So I think I'll grab Lysander here. I'm already holding a Sycamore, so we've got plenty of draw. Get Lysander. There we go. And just as I was speaking about how useless Tapu Lele was, there we go, here's a good spot. So he really has, is really going to have a difficult time dealing with this now. Because I can energy drive for 100. If he can't knock me out. And if he Lysanders up the Lycanroc, then I can just knock him out. Okay. So this is pretty risky. He's got no Pokemon on board after this. Ooh, spicy. I forgot about the healing. Okay. That changes things. I guess I'm forced to just attach another double colorless here. So we'll drop this. Attach double colorless. And energy drive for KO. And we can take Sycamore in case we get end. And probably the Lycanroc is a good card to put back into our deck if we get end. It also allows us to gust up things and Sycamore next turn. Although I might not want to put such an easy prize on the board. Okay, so just passes. End to 2 here. So we're hitting 80 on the Shaman. 20, 40, 60, 80. So if we gust this up, bring up Shaman. So we just need to draw an energy here. Set up for 2. There's the energy. So we can just energy drive for 100. And the magma base damage comes in handy. And we get the KO. So that's going to be the game. So even under item lock, it's pretty powerful. Dangerous Rogue is just such a powerful ability. So yeah, we ticked the game there. Very nice, and hope you guys enjoyed the deck. I think it's a really fun archetype, really good, and definitely give it a shot if you have a chance. 2 magma bases should be enough to run the deck. As you saw, I had to Ultra Ball away too, so not the best, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.